In this video, we're looking at a brand new landing page template called Refined. Now, here it is on the screen. This template itself has got some very nice little quirky images, these little square diamond images that we've used, and it can look quite complex to the eye. You're going to love how this template looks. It's very different to all our other ones, so let's walk you through it. You can see straight away as I start to scroll, we've got that fixed background image in there, and again you could switch that out with something of your own. At the top we've used this star icon which grabs the attention straight away with that nice big bold bitter font headline you can see here. Again, you could switch out all these fonts. I'll show you little things inside the live editor soon, like the images and stuff, so follow me through this and I'll show you some little tweaks and things on how you can change stuff. So at the start we've got this sort of heading area, or this header area, and then we've got this call to action button here, and you'll see this transparent sort of image which is bringing focal sort of down towards this featured section. But this button itself, we click on it, we open up the overlay optimizer, and inside that we've got the progress bar and the opt-in form. So you could change that, edit it up, use some of your own elements inside there. So it's very catching, and I'll show you how to do this little tiny transparent sort of part of this image underneath the button there. So let's go further down. You can see we go into this featured section here, which has got the custom icons and on that white background, so it's very easy for you to read. Now, one thing that's nice about this whole template is that this line you've got here breaking up this center will disappear on a mobile device. So if we were to resize this template down, or the screen size down to a mobile device, you wouldn't see this gray line down the middle of the text. So everything is very neatly designed, and these icons and text sort of come into line on a mobile device. So that's a great little section. This line as well is also a background image. I'll show you that in a moment. So you could increase the row size here, adding more featured items. You could have another 2 sets below, and this background line will keep extending. Let's go further down. So the next row we've included here, we're on a dark image behind, and we've used this gradient featured sort of box here, or this box creator, to make this grey or this transparent white sort of background to make that font stand out. So it's a nice little row, catches the attention. This is not too wide as well, so it's quite neatly tucked in, it's quite compact there. And then we drop down below, we've included the video so you can get a chance to show a bit about your product, maybe give someone a tour or show them a walkthrough of you using a particular product or service. So it's a great place to capture and engage with your audience. If you want to be on camera, you put yourself in that video so you can get seen. Going further down the next row, we've used this pattern background image, so it breaks up the design again, breaks up the eye, brings the attention towards that center focal point on the screen. Now we've got that testimonial in. Now, of course, you could put anything in place of that. You could increase this row size as well if you wanted to add a bit more content, or maybe a text block or a paragraph or something. You could change that and put anything you like in there. And you might notice these little square icons between the rows. I'm going to show you how you can edit them or change them and how they're done and added in. Show that in a moment. Going down, we have then into this lovely testimonial box here, or this testimonial section, broken up again by the little squares and the grey bar. And we've used the color tone into the headlines of the testimonial names there, okay? So you can see how we've done that when you're editing the template. And then last piece of the template is again our call to action at the bottom here, and we've included the opt-in form again using that same button. This is an inline opt-in form this time. If you wanted to change this around, you could easily clone the one from the top, bring it down and put a 2-step opt-in in place, or you could just play with this and use the email or the inline opt-in form that we've got. So let's go back up. I'll jump in the live editor here, and I'm going to show you some of these little square images and how they've been added into the template. So that first section, you've got this transparent sort of white image here. This is actually a featured box, and inside that featured box you can click on here and you can see the styling. It's got the background color added here with the transparency effect applied to it. Now, one thing is with this featured box as well, let me just close that down again. We have inside there, we have content. So we've put a content inside the featured box, which is this image. Now this image is also set to 0 padding, which means it sits a line flush at the bottom of the row. It's got 0 bottom margin, okay, so it sits bottom flush with the bottom of that row. So that's how we get that image to sit inside the featured box and then to sit flush below. This featured box has also got a bit of opacity CSS in there, which is making that transparent effect. I'll show you that in a second, because we're going to look at these other ones. Now if I jump down to the next row, you can see there's two rows here. So this is the first row at the top, and row in the middle, and another row at the bottom. Now the row at the top, this image has actually been set inside the row as a background image. You can see it just here down the bottom. And this also has some CSS applied called row line. Okay, so that's what this is doing. I'll show you in a moment. This row as well has got the same CSS called row line in. And if we scroll down, you can see there's the background image, the long line. Now it'll only obviously stretch that row to the maximum, or this line will only show for the width of this row, or the height of this row. So if you wanted to have more content and keep this, you'd need to make a bigger image. So it's not too hard. You can make a bigger image and obviously replace that in there, but you need obviously a graphics program. This image is set to center as well, to align center. And below that again we've got another row, and this time the image again is in here as the background, and then this has got the row line CSS in it as well. Now these little images, so this is a top triangle image, and then you've got a bottom triangle image as well here. Now these are set so that the ones that are square ones that sit together are set flush at the bottom. The padding's been set at the sort of the bottom of this would be 0, and the top of the other one would be 0 as well. So they sit flush with the line, which gives you that effect like they are in the middle of the row, if that makes sense. So that's how these are added. This CSS called row line is in page settings, other scripts. If I do a search for row line, and you can see here there's the CSS, and what this is saying to do here is hide the background image. So it's saying background image none. It's telling you not to show that background image, that line, when the media screen is only at its maximum width. So this means max width is 767 pixels. Anything underneath that width size will use this CSS below. So it's saying, you know, if the screen size is below 767, meaning its maximum width is 767, then don't show or run this CSS code below here, which is in our case don't show that background image. So that's what this bit of CSS is doing there. I said about the CSS earlier, the opacity CSS, that's applied a bit further up. If we do a search for opacity, you can see there's the opacity and the background colors if you want to play around with the opacity CSS. So that was used in that faded little white box at the top. So that's used all the way down here. You can see this one as well, and this one, and going further down you've got these. These are actually images. If we edit this one, this is an image, and the top margin is set to 0. So that means this image sits flush with this row above. And then you see this image up here, this will have a bottom margin set here at 0, which is making it flush with its top row. And you'll see this image has got this little white part of the images around it. So it looks like this row at the top is coming into this row, okay? So it might seem a bit complex. It is really just only images that have been applied with 0 margin top and bottom, meaning they sit flush with the top and the bottom of the row that they are included in. And the ones which have the background image actually in place, they all work the same. They're using that 0 padding. You can see this one here actually has a little grey line on it as well. But that's how these are done. So that's how you can play around and actually put in different images. So you could switch them out and put in maybe a circle image if you have an image made a similar size, similar colors as well, or colors of your website, your branding. So that's a quick walkthrough. I want to show you these little images, how they fix and how they get that effect where the square box is dropping into the row below it, and you can see in this one is in the top, and in this one it drops down. So these are two separate images sitting flush on the row, top and bottom, with 0 margin, and that's how you get that effect. So this Clubhouse template is available for download. As always, please drop us an email when you're using it in your business. We'd love to see it on your sites in action.